the most comprehensive guide to the Marvel character, Thor. Thor, who is he? Which comic did he initially appear in? Are there multiple Thors? The moment has come to review the background of the God of Thunder in light of the upcoming release of Thor, Love and Thunder. What were its beginnings? What Marvel comic did he initially appear in? Was he one of the Avengers' original members? If you're interested in learning more about the many mysteries that this character, played by Chris Hemsworth in the MCU, conceals, I've written a comprehensive guide that contains the answers to all of your questions. Thor was the god of thunder and lightning as well as the protector of the Midgardian people from the demons and hells that lived in the 9 realms. In Norse legend, Thor had red hair rather than blonde. The most powerful of the gods, he guarded children, lightning, fire, and buildings. He was reportedly 2 meters tall, had a thick beard, was quite obese, and had strong arms. Odin, the ruler of the gods of Asgard, and Jord, the first goddess on earth, you will know her as Gia, are the parents of Thor. His father desired to be the offspring of a boy whose might came from both Asgard and Earth, from Gaia, from him. The goddess lover built a cave in Norway where she gave birth to Thor when she became pregnant. Young Thor was hated for months until Odin brought him to Asgard to be reared with his wife, the goddess Frigga, who was always his biological mother. The comics included a highly intriguing plot line in which an eye that Odin had previously amputated grew to gigantic proportions. He then revealed to Thor that there had previously been a Thor who had red hair, was likewise the son of Odin, and who had existed before he was born, unlike the last one, who was blonde. According to legend, the original Thor slew the Midgard serpent and perished in Ragnarok from its venom, which will sound familiar to you because it was the destruction of the first version of Asgard. Even Odin passed away, but a new one emerged who is now Thor's father. Is this a true or false story? The interpretation is up to you. Naturally, Thor grew up with Loki as he was adopted by Odin following the death of his father, the ice giant Laufey, in combat. Along with his wrath, Loki's jealousy rose, and from that emerged the desire to eliminate him. The reality is that Thor took a while to emerge in Marvel Comics, or at the very least, he can't be regarded as one of the earliest superheroes that readers were familiar with. He made his debut in Journey into Mystery number 83 during the Silver Age of Marvel Comics. Jack Kirby, artist, invented it in 1962. He has since appeared in a number of series and limited series, and he is, in fact, a founding member of the Avengers. Thor has had animated shows, films, including the MCU, of course, video games, clothing, and other sorts of marketing since then, making him one of the most profitable characters in the entire corporation. In 2011, when his own film was released, Thor made his first appearance in the MCU. Sam Raimi was immersed in a script concept when the adaptation first started to be discussed in 1991, but it wasn't until 2 decades later that it really came to pass. Jane Foster, Natalie Portman's portrayal of the character Thor's girlfriend, vanished after appearing in Thor, The Dark World. She will now appear in Thor, Love and Thunder, where to everyone's astonishment, she is transformed into the powerful Thor. Everything clearly suggests that this woman, who is more independent than ever, would not, or at least not at first, be the spouse of the Nordic god since a lot of time has gone and the romance have cooled. The Mighty Thor is now Jane Foster. You may read about the conceivable beginnings of this superheroine, who would appear in Thor, in the description of a copy of the Mighty Thor's helmet. Jane Foster, who had cancer, visited the new Asgard, and her life was irrevocably altered. Unexpectedly, the fragments of Mjolnir, the thunder god's hammer, changed her into the powerful Thor and gave her the abilities of Thor to combat both internal and external dangers. The Mighty Thor battled Gore, the Butcher God, with the assistance of Valkyrie, Thor, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Jane Foster finds herself thrown into an epic battle with plenty of love and some thunder while battling illness in her human form and gore in her god form. In the Avengers films, Chris Hemsworth played Thor, although he was absent from Captain America: Civil War. He may also be one of the characters with the most freedom to wander from the initial stage of the MCU, the first 3 phases, presumably as a result of his reputation as an interplanetary superhero. Thank you for visiting our channel about comics and pop culture. Subscribe to Uncanny Collectibles for more exclusive information, news, and scoops.